chance for Donjanu to go 2 for 2 at home, and he does.
He's flying.
And now he'll celebrate. And it's going to be Sandra Velzebor.
And all the while, it is an orange blur on the front. Sandra Velzebor does it again. The exclamation mark in for the Canadian Ice Maples. And it will be the Ice Maples starting off with a gold medal. All is quiet for now in the Capitol Indoor Stadium, but business is about to pick up. Day one of the ISU Short Track World Tour from here in Beijing was certainly memorable, and we're expecting things to only get better. Hi everybody, Gavin Day here in the booth once again from Beijing. A list of our schedule for today alongside me, as always this weekend, is former U.S. skating international, two-time Olympic Winter Games medalist as well, Catherine Reuter-Adamek. Have you caught your breath from yesterday yet?
Oh man, I'm still riding on the high from yesterday. It was so exciting. The skating was so good.
And plenty more to come. The World Tour program, as always, coming up this afternoon, but we always get things started with the repechage session. These skaters trying to just get into that World Tour program, getting started with the women's 1500 meter repechage quarterfinals. 4 heats in all. Top 2 from each heat automatically go through, and up to a maximum of 4 third-place skaters could go. And so if it's a clean race, if it's 4 clean races, all of the third-place skaters could go through. But as we saw, particularly last night, anything can happen. We've seen the start list: Louisiana Stahl, Leah Mead, Tineke Den-Dulk, Michelle Velzebor, and Valentina Askic.
Go to the start. Ready.
They are away. Of course, there is the added benefit, if all the races stay clean, that you could get a third-place time, but it wasn't the most pedestrian of starts, and we do see some pretty slow ones. That one, they got off quickly, and they're already shaping up.
And we've already seen a little jostling in the pack. So here's the thing, we have 4 fastest thirds and 4 heats. However, if there is an advancement in any of these rounds, that eliminates the remaining fastest times that get to go through. So athletes, they're having a bit of a motivation to race clean as well as fast.
Against all of the U.S. youngsters in today. Some of these youngsters getting a chance. Julie Latai, still coming back from an injury, would be an added benefit to that Eagles roster. She is recovering, but right now on the front, Valentina Askic, the Croatian Dalmatian, born in Bosnia-Herzegovina, now living in Zagreb. Little bump there, Stahl able to keep it up.
No yellow dot on the screen, even though it sounded like a click of the blades, but potentially, you know, some things just happen in the sport. Louisiana will have to fight her way back if that's not gonna do it.
That time though, Leah Mead goes down. So Stahl in third, but that one will get the yellow dot. It's Askic on the front and Michelle Velzebor. I mean, we've been calling quite a bit, having to go through repechage in the 1500. Maybe not the distance that's to her strength, but all these skaters, as we've talked about it a little bit, are doing all the distances these days, not so much able to pick and choose as they once did.
And what's important to remember about the repechage rounds is that these are really our development races. These are opportunities for athletes who are not competing, or they're trying to compete for medal contending races. But even if they don't make it that far, they're still traveling all this way and gaining that international experience, learning lessons, just like we're seeing here.
Match getting set up where the best of the world, the best of the best, get to compete, sharing the hotels, getting set for race day, experiencing all that travel and all that. So, yeah, and of course the carrot dangling at the end is the chance to jump into that World Tour program this afternoon. At the bell, it is Michelle Velzebor in front, Valentina Askic behind her, Stahl in third, and then Den-Dulk. And it is Michelle Velzebor showing a bit of endurance for the sprint specialist ahead of Askic and Stahl. That incident will be reviewed on Mead.
And that incident was a good example of you know what it takes to practice that patience in the sport. It's pretty common. Oh, so we are seeing a bump here, and it's almost like she kind of...
That was the early incident, almost coming up behind on Mead, and then...
Well, she's setting it up well. She's entered the corner wide. She's exited the corner tight. She's right on the blocks. That's great, but she needs to get her shoulders by without causing contact, and that's where there's a bump. And
now it is in the hands of the officials to see what happens, but off and away in that new deep blue kind of slash purple helmet, Michelle Velzeboer gets over the line first, 2:30.46. We'll see Stahl's time at the moment, 2:31.95 unofficially. We'll see how that remains. And if you're just joining us for the first time, they go to the review board, they discuss with the review team. We'll get a few shots of them over the course of the day, I have no doubt. They sit in the room and they look at all the angles, chatting with the referee on the ice. And once the decision's made, he skates over to the second video board to punch in the results, and then if there is any discipline, they go out to the center of the ice to make the after review call, which is new to the World Tour this year.
And this is what I like to see from a young athlete, Louisiana Stahl, exiting the ice with her head up, shoulders back, regardless of what the officials decide. That's good body posture, good composure at the end of a challenging race.
Mead goes off into the boards. Wasn't in one of those top two positions, so it would be interesting to see how things go. And here's the decision.
After review, the decision is no penalty due to shared responsibility between skater 103 USA and skater number 96 from New Zealand.
There you have it. No penalty handed out due to shared responsibility, saying they go on shoulder to shoulder there. And Leah Mead in the end, well, see there, no time in fifth. So Stahl does get that third place time now to watch, 2:31.953. If the rest of the races go clear, she would of course go through. But then, as Catherine mentioned, if there are advancements and penalties, it will start to grate the third place time. So here we go. No.
That's right. So they are really packed up close together here. I do see that outside to in move from New Zealand, and then Louisiana Stahl, she just gets stuck. So here's the thing, if you're on the inside of that line that goes down the straightaway, it's your job to back off and tuck back into position rather than try to stay on the inside to finish the pass.
And the next heat, two nomads, Zelina Ashgalieva, Olga Tikhonova, Anna Jansson, making the Golden Stars debut, at least for the women's side. It was nice of them to, they're sent a bigger team this month into Montreal. Anna Sokolowska of the Polish Hussars, Miroslava Selyukova of the Ukrainian Wildcats, and Nakashima Mide of the Ninjas.
Position 4. Position outside. 3. Okay. Go to the start. Ready.
The Ninjas just picked up one medal from the 2 weekends in Montreal, and that was in the mixed team relay, and Nakashima, who's sitting right on the back, was part of that Japanese Ninja side. On the front, it is Jansson of the Golden Stars. They sent a complement of 4 skaters on the men's side, so they got to enter a men's relay team, and Jansson, we'll call her a pioneer, the first woman from this Latvian side into the World Tour. That is building. They've got a lot of power in them already, in the likes of Robin Stussberg and Marina Sperzic, and now it's just a matter of getting more skaters back home into it.
That's right, and it's very normal for a men's team to be deeper from country to country than a women's team. We are seeing again in this round a bit of a pedestrian pace to start with. Remember, this is the endurance distance, the 1500, 13.5 laps. The Latvian star is doing a good job controlling the pace, but being overtaken now.
We must point out, with 2 nomads in there, both of them on the podium, and there is Jansson going down, but 2 nomads, the nomads on the podium in the women's relay, first ever for them at the international senior level. We're calling that out, but yeah, Nakashima, seeing the drama unfold in front of her, deciding, I'm going to get out of trouble, get to the front.
And that's the right thing to do, is to get out of the front. It takes more energy to lead, but you're safe from these situations. And what's happening here is skaters don't, when they're making their strategy, they're using all of their senses. So she's listening, she's hearing for blades. You'll see sometimes they look over their shoulders or in between their legs. They're seeing who's behind them, how much space do I have, how much energy do I need to conserve.
She's hanging on the Nomads. Trying to double team, getting 2 up behind her, but Nakashima keeping them at bay for now. Inside now, 3 to go.
So 3 laps to go is a long time to maintain the lead. However, Nakashima looking quite strong, not even swinging her right arm yet. Oh, here we go, a little power in her pushes.
She's being chased by Tikhonova. Because those two with a bit of a gap on the front. Ashgalieva trying to get that 3rd place time. There will be 2 incidents that will get a review, but Nakashima is going to just, I believe, maybe get nicked at the line. It's going to the photo, but either way, those 2 looking on course to move on, of course, pending reviews.
And stretching for the line like that is the right thing to do. It's good practice. So here we see a good defensive maneuver, way to cut to the inside without causing contact. However, it does create contact later in the pack. We'll have to wait and see if there's a call.
That was the first incident being reviewed, and it is Janson being reviewed on Selyakova on that first one.
It's always a challenge when maybe you set up the timing of the pass, you set up the track pattern of the pass, and then you get there and realize, oh, there's no space.
The hole looks bigger when you get there, and then you realize it's not. And it's look how close that is. That is, I believe, Nakashima, yes, by 8 thousandths of a second. We did have a tie for bronze yesterday, so anything is possible. Part of the drama we've had this weekend, we've had a world record. We've had a tie for a medal. A lot of good stuff. And looks like both incidents may have been cleared. We'll just await for the official ruling. The control room there still.
And this is a recent development in speed skating where there's this control room here, which means they can actually clear calls in the middle of the race. They have a kind of a backup in the back room helping the refs on the ice make a good choice.
There you have it. No discipline. Both the incidents were cleared. Nakashima, Tikhonova 1 and 2, and it's a 2:31.336, so faster of the 3rd place times. But as of now, 2 clean races with nobody getting advanced. 3rd heat coming out.
Go to the start. Ready.
This one, saw the start line, Hyojin Kim of the Australian Racing Ruse in that new green and blue kit this weekend. Kamila Stormovska, the Polish Hussars. Svetlana Repechage of the Wildcats. Katarina Budic of the Dalmatians. Lam Qingyan of the Hong Kong Ice Chilins. And Petra Vankova of the Czech Ice Spiders. And this one, come back tomorrow, we'll get the finish. Kidding. That was just, it's a slow start.
It's a slow start. This might be the slowest start we've seen so far this weekend. A 19-second lap, 19.8. This is a pedestrian pace.
What that just does, though, it just winding things up, and so you just know the moment is going to come, and it adds to the mystery who and when.
Yes, that's right. And so 2 things can happen here. Either someone will think to themselves, this is silly, I'm just going to go to the front and lead. I'll take the pole, it's fine. Or it will stay slow like this all the way until about 7 to go. 7 to go is typically the sweet spot in a 1500 where we start seeing the laps progress. 4 to go is the prime passing opportunity. 2 to go is typically when the race is starting to be decided. But I'll tell you what, Gavin, I learned this as an athlete. Just because you're leading with 1 lap to go does not mean you're going to win the race.
You learned that from experience?
The hard way, several times.
Now it starts to pick up. Nobody in the end decided to just say, you know what, I'm going on a flyer. We haven't seen any of those this weekend where someone just throws caution to the wind and sets off on their own foray. It is Repechage with Budic right behind her, and then Lamb And now taking a look on the inside. Down goes Repechage, and that sets things off now. And now it's 5 skaters just deciding, off we go.
And that's pretty common in the sport. When there is a fall or a scuffle, you get a little scared, especially if you're leading. You think, I don't want to get in trouble. I want to skate away from trouble. So typically those clicks of the blades, a little body contact is what gets the race off.
And it is Kim on the front right now, the Korean-born member of the Racing Ruse. Part of that small but potentially growing Australian side. He's in front right now, Repechage. And Lam. Here comes Stormovska trying to get around, and Buric. A little bit of a gap opening up, but 4 skaters piling into the corner there.
Stormovska making a beautiful outside move.
She has the lead and a bit of a gap over Kim right now. Looks like she will take this one to the line. Kim, it's a race for second. Kim's going to take it ahead of Repechage. And so we will see what gets reviewed. Knocked out Petra Vankova of the Czech Ice Spiders, and the yellow dot came up immediately.
So looking here, Hong Kong, China on the inside, just barely squeaking by, but it's not a lot of room, and she's trying to pass into second, but potentially she kind of scoots up into the back of the Croatian No, this is not Croatian, this is Czech.
That's Repechage, that's the Czech Ice Spider. Yeah. And so they are saying a possible late pass on Lam Qingyan on Repechage.
And here we're seeing the pass by Stormovska on the outside. She's swinging those arms, looking for extra power and rhythm in her pushes, setting that, avoiding the pivot. So she's not setting her hand down as she skates around the outside. And there she finally tucks into the front with good form.
Let's look at the line, Repechage. Stormovska, pardon me. Gets to the line, hands on the knees, not even an exhale, making it look easy. They are still reviewing. Of course, anytime there is an advancement and whatnot, that sort of throws those third place scenarios into chaos. This is the incident. They're saying possible late pass, also possible lane change on Lam Qingyan. Both of the incidents are related to her, both of what they're reviewing. So they're looking at a couple different options. Late pass, lane change.
And it seems like Repechage is trying to do a deep track there, which is good strategy, but she just gets caught up in this shuffle. She's trying to defend the pass and shut down the speed, but the timing of it just kind of puts her right in harm's way.
So looks like they have completed things there. We'll throw it onto the ice momentarily. The 4th and final heat of the women's 1500 meter repechage quarterfinal already on the ice, but here we go.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 7 from China and advancement to skater number 83 from Croatia and number 61 from Czechia.
And so there you go, Lam Qingyan. That incident, it sort of impeded on both of Petra Vankova and Katarina Buric. They ruled, so 2 advancements there. That knocks the 3rd place option out for Svetlana Repechage, as that was the slowest heat we've had so far, and the penalty to Lam Qingyan. So here it is, lane change from inside to out right there, crossing over that yellow line into Buric, and then impeding both of their races as they were in the positions to lead 1 and 2. They were in those advancement positions, and that's why they get both moved into the repechage semi. That's my assessment. I've got the analyst sitting right next to me. I've left her speechless.
Well, then no, it's a good assessment, but there are so many different types of calls in the sport. Now, something the ISU has done a really good job at is getting very clear and consistent with their calls, but sometimes in short track, it's really hard to keep it all straight.
Ready.
For this heat, Elisa Eckstein, Gabriela Topolska, Medina Zenbusanova, Annabelle Green, Danucha Chataisong, and Diana Michalchuk. And so what that means is with 2 advancements, there is still the possibility of a third place skater. However, it would be down to heat 1, 2, and 4. So right now at the moment, it's Alina Ashgalieva at a 231.366. Louisiana Stahl with a 231.953. And they went off slowly enough here, but already a little bit of tempo, certainly faster than the last one. Eckstein on the front right now.
A little bit of movement in the path. So you can see the Polish Hussar building speed on the outside, moving to the front and getting chased now.
Is Eckstein now kind of getting squeezed, and there's a bit of a reshuffle. Busanova ahead of Topolska and Green. Now Eckstein back into fourth. Eckstein will be turning 24 next month. She's from Dresden, which has been a favorite, as Catherine mentioned, for her from her skating days. It has hosted World Cups before.
Dresden is actually truly my favorite of all the World Cup stops on the old circuit. Beijing, another favorite. Here we are this week with the host country having incredible food, incredible accommodations, and top speed ice.
Topolska on the front right now. Annabelle Green of the British Royals slotting up into second as the tempo really getting picked up. They're under 10-second lap times. We've already seen one of her teammates go through, has Gabriela Topolska, the 23-year-old from Białystok, which is the real training hub of that Hussars team. But now Eckstein back into the fray in the second at the bell. And it looking now like it is Topolska and Eckstein pulling away. And nothing getting reviewed out of that one, and we wait to see what the time is. It's a 2:34, so that won't be fast enough. So all going to form, or all going to plan. I don't see anything being reviewed. The third place teams would go to, or third place advancement times would go to Louisiana Stahl and Alina Ashgalieva. And there is nothing getting reviewed from that race.
And it was not the most shuffling in this race, and so I think what we're really seeing here is fatigue starting to set in. I was sitting with the American team this morning at breakfast and just hearing from the athletes and the coaches how tremendously difficult the new World Tour schedule is on the athletes' legs. They are very often getting less than 15 minutes or just maybe right at 15 minutes recovery between races, and then they're doing that multiple times a day, multiple days in a week, 2 weeks in a row.
So next weekend in Seoul, everybody getting out over there quickly once things wrap up, and a chance to potentially recover for a few days before they're back on the ice at the Mukdong ice rink. Men's 1,000-meter quarterfinal, repechage. You see the qualifiers moving on to the repechage semi. They'll quickly be back out on the ice in just over half an hour's time. And there are 7 heats in the men's 1,000-meter repechage. First from each race, and a maximum of 3 fastest third-place skaters. So small margin for error here. Theo Collins of the Royals, Robin Bendig of the Wolves, Daniel Bergen of the Wildcats, Martin Kolench of the Dalmatians, and Liu Xiaowang making an early appearance today.
Red.
Xiaowang on the podium yesterday of that double lungs medal podium. No, pardon me, that was Liu Xiaolin. That was his brother. Either way, a good day for the lungs yesterday, and you're in the repechage because on qualifying day you did not get through, and it is nice to see some of these bigger names getting their second chance, adding a little star power to the repechage weekend, and certainly the fans here happy to see Liu Xiaowang.
Certainly, and the Liu brothers really not performing at the full strength like they have in the past, and it's hard to say, are they training through in preparation for the Asian Games? You also have to consider not just they're training this season, but the cycle of the Olympic quad, lots of athletes are peaking for the Olympics, and we still have, what, 15 months? So there's plenty of time to be a little tired for the World Tour season with the intention of having the best result possible in Milan 2026.
This is the last full season before the Olympic season, and next year when the season begins, that's probably all everybody's going to be talking about, getting ready for those games in Milan. And it's Xiaoan showing his class right now, comfortably in front. Theo Collins trying to chase him down, but is Liu Xiaoan standing up, cruising over the line. So we will note Collins' time, 126.22. Nothing getting reviewed there, everybody through safe and secure.
So what I like to see here is how Liu is tucking into the back here in the beginning, and he's skating a patient race. You're seeing none of the skaters are swinging an arm yet, and he's able to manipulate his track pattern and get that slingshot effect out of a corner exit. It doesn't actually take a lot of extra energy to do a pass like that. It takes impeccable timing.
Once he's through, he decides, yeah, I'm just going to take this one now. Comfortable for him. He'll be back for the repechage semifinals, which comes up after the first ice resurfacing. Heat number 2, as you see the results for heat number 1. Heat number 2 has Denis Cellier of the Polish Hussars, Zdenek Sepal of the Czech Ice Biters, Furkan Akar, our first Turkish Anatolian par sighting today, Ivan Martinic of the Dalmatians, and Brendan Corey. Another long weekend for him. Another repechage day for the Racing Roo. He's taken his bumps, been back out and moved along pretty nicely in the 1500 meters yesterday, but
Brendan Corey had a really tough qualifying day on Friday. I think he fell in at least 2 out of 3 events. Yeah. And here's the thing, when you have a fall, it'll get in your head, but also your body will hurt, and it does a number on your equipment. So lots to recover from here. He's hoping for a better result.
Go to the start. Ready.
so it's always interesting in the 1,000. They go off for the few strides like it's a 500 meters and then kind of settle back in.
And then settle in. And what they're doing there is taking up space. Even if you have no intention of leading, the right thing to do is to be hard to get around. And that's part of strategy in short track. You want to conserve your energy as much as possible, and you want to try to find those holes in your opponent's armor and force them to spend a little more energy than they would have if you hadn't taken up more space, been a little more aggressive or twitchier off the start.
It is a car. Going to the front, things really picking up now as they see 5 laps to go. It's a car and Sepal and Cellier. Cellier certainly brings a lot of power and speed to this one.
Furkan Akar controlling the pace very well. Remember, at home, there's a difference between leading and pulling. Leading is good strategy. Pulling wears you out while everyone else gets a free ride to the finish.
Looking on the outside, as is Cellier. A lot of people looking at the same idea right now, but Corey goes outside to inside and makes it stick for 3rd.
And the reason that outside to inside move is so helpful here for Corey is because Furkan is doing what's called a deep track.
But now he's forced out wide in the bump with Cellier there. Now he has to chase. It's still a car leading. A lot of people trying to play catch up. It's a car taking it, and Corey goes down, but Cellier hangs on for 2nd. And it might have been another one of those incidents where someone went out on their own. Just pushing for the line, spinning like a top almost out of the corner.
Spinning like a top. So I'll tell you as we get to the replays why and how that happens. So to your point, Gavin, a bit of an aggressive start here, and then as soon as we get to the second block, a little bit of backing off. Okay, you know, who wants to lead? How fast do we want to go? Brendan Corey pulling around the outside there, getting safe in front, and now let's keep our eyes on a car building and passing on the outside. Tucking into the front, managing his speed, that's smart. You don't want to make a big gap after you pass. Maybe if that's your plan, but for the most part, you want to tuck into first, just like we see athletes tucking into various positions in the pack.
His best ever World Cup for kind of car for the previous World Cup. That's the incident at the line. Sorry, I'll let Catherine finish that thought.
So here's a car coming out, having a little wobble himself. Keep your eyes back here on Brendan Quarry. What happens, he gets stuck on his left outside edge. His hips sit down a little too low. It's hard to control that. And then we get a twist, and it happens to the best of us. It's a sign of trying to make a pass to the finish. But if you overdo it or if you miss the timing, it's a little late. That's what happens.
Car through, Cillier 130.920. Physics has had a good weekend.
Physics wins every time.
A car, his best World Cup result in the old format is a 4th place. He's had some top 10s, including in the 1,000 meters. So always one to watch, perhaps, the young man who turned 22 rather recently. Next heat out on the ice. We'll get through the start once they get off the line.
Ready.
Gleb Ivchenko of the Nomads, Mohamed Bozdag, another Anatolian par, Wesley Park of the USA Eagles, Watanabe Keita of the Ninjas, Lucas Wareham of the Racing Roos, and Joshua Ka getting around the front there of the Ice Kias.
Oh, and the bump there already. The racing has already started. Wesley Park getting bumped back into 4th. Really aggressive skating here by Bozdag. That shows me he wants to be in 2nd. 2nd's the best place to be, especially in the 1,000 meter. You don't have to waste the energy that it takes to lead the race, but you can focus on being a defensive skater. It's truly a gift if you have the timing to stay in 2nd place.
Goes out wide, and Bozdag moves into the lead. Dean followed by Ivchenko, Park into 3rd. As Ka goes down to 4th, but now it's Bozdag leading. There was an incident reviewed, but it's already been cleared. And now Bozdag goes down, Ivchenko leading, and Park has just lost all his speed, and he's standing up now. That one will also get reviewed. At the moment, this is the lineup. Ivchenko on the front, Watanabe, Wareham, and Ka, but there will be reviews as they come up to the bell. Wareham now making the move. Watanabe, both of them going out wide. A lot to look at in this race as Ivchenko crosses the line just ahead of Wareham and Watanabe.
So many things to look at, and every World Tour stop is different because it's different officials at every World Tour stop. The rules are always the same, but there's room for discretion. This is a contact sport, and so each official may be a little pickier on certain aspects than another. That being said, what I'm hearing from the athletes is that, oh, here's the first incident, which doesn't look like contact. It just looks like Wesley Park made the decision to go out wide. But here's a cut in, which actually impacts 2 separate skaters. So remember, officials are looking for something clear and obvious that impacts the result of the race. I would say we have an example of that here. Let's wait and see what the decision is.
And they have, from the looks of things, already taken a full look. No, they were just waiting for all the skaters to finish. And so the review is underway. That just the referee will join the fray in just a few moments to take a look.
So you're seeing here some of China's fans, and it's notable how many fans will stay after, especially yesterday after the medal rounds, waiting for autographs, waiting in the hotel, just hoping to see their favorite racers.
Ariana Fontana had a entourage around her. She spent some time in the hotel. They had it cordoned off so athletes could walk down to their meals, and the fans, of course, very respectful as they had the chance to request some autographs, and a lot of them obliged.
And that is something unique to competing in China. There are certain countries where the fan base is quite large. I would venture to say that China has one of the largest fan bases.
That is Bozdag going down. It also forced Park way out wide.
So he's moving outside to in. It looks like he's really forced. I mean, he could stay out wide and just build his speed. He's trying to do a late outside pass. There's just not enough room.
So it looks like they have reached their decision.
And this is always a terrible feeling where you're like, shoot, I know that was maybe not quite the move I wanted, and now the results are out of my hands.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 80 from Kazakhstan and advanced number 97 from Turkey and 66 from the USA.
And there you have it. Another second time we've seen a double advancement, and that's the only times we've seen it. We haven't seen them all weekend, but what do they say about waiting for a bus? I think it's like a bus in London. You wait for one and then two arrive. Well, we've had back-to-back double advancements in two separate events, and that has thrown all of the second places right out the window. Here is the review. They say in the straight lane change, outside to in, right there, bump, and down he goes.
So what could happen in that situation is there could be a little better angle going into the corner. To be honest, it's one of the hardest parts of the sports. The technical term is called projection. It's very lateral speed skating. If you can project your push forward, you can fit into those little holes a lot easier.
Next heat on the ice. Lining up Magnus Berzins, Golden Star, Tobias Wolf, Austria, Sean McAnuff of the Wolfhounds, Peter Murphy of Luxembourg, Radek Ficus of the Ice Spiders, and Fred Van Dam of the Ice Bears.
Ready.
And it's Van Dam, the youngster of that program, getting to the front. And this one, since it is just a race for first, no bother playing with games for potential second places. It's they are off to see who can take the win, and McAnuff goes to the inside.
They are fighting for position here, and especially with 6 skaters on the line for the 1,000 meter, you cannot afford to get any farther back than third, maybe fourth. By the time you get into 5th and 6th, the amount of effort it takes to pass all the way up to first it's too much in this short amount of time.
Berzins, who brings the pedigree of having won international medals to this race, certainly the man to beat from the looks of things.
And Berzin's doing a very comfortable track pattern here. He's accelerating out of his turns and then smooth entry into the corner. That is both efficient and defensive.
It is Ficus who drifted all the way back, and I think he's given up the ghost there as Berzins drives it at the front, inside 2 to go. Nobody able to match his speed right now. Tobias Wolf trying to keep it close, but enough of a margin that Berzins setting it into auto as he crosses that line.
And that's a move that takes a lot of confidence to go up to the front and lead with that speed, but specifically with pulling that gap, that is what can keep an athlete safe. Because remember, there's also a call in the sport of contact from behind. Now, let's see McAnuff coming up the inside.
That was his early pass. I'm not sure if that was the one being reviewed. Just have to wait and see. So you hear the cheer. That's another one of the lungs. I think that one is. That's where the one that Ficus was forced out wide when Tobias Wolf moved on him.
And Wolf was just a few inches away from completing that pass cleanly. What we are looking for on an inside pass, you want your waist level with the skater you're passing, level with their shoulders. He wasn't quite there. Again, let's wait and see what the officials determine as the final results. Berzin seems to have gotten it with a 127.714.
That's 5.58. That's Berzin's in the lead. Wolf was second with the 7.14. Okay, no penalty handed out. We're moving right along to the next race. You heard the cheer from the hometown crowd. That was for Liu Shaolin. Ibek Nassen of the Nomads. There is the aforementioned Liu Shaolin. Andrew Heo of the USA Eagles. Wesley Yates of the Royals. Liam O'Brien of the Wolfhounds. And Yaroslav Morozov of the Wildcats. So some pretty strong skaters there with the likes of Liu and Hyo in there.
And those are the 2 skaters to watch going into this race.
Go to the start. Ready.
Off the line, it is Wesley Yates of the Royals getting to the front. Liu on his tail, and Morozov already taking a look. This one could get interesting. Still back in 5th.
A good respectable pace we're starting off with. We're already seeing the middle 9, so this is a pace that it's not so slow that anybody could make an easy move to the front, but it's not so fast that Shaolin is wasting any energy.
There's Nassen holding on in 2nd right now. Yates is taking a look. O'Brien is taking a look. Hio now deciding to get a little bit further forward. He jumps to 5th.
I don't anticipate there being a lot of movement in this race because the speed is picking up. We're down into the low 9s. So again, it's not slow enough that a big power move is going to be available, but it's just fast enough to maintain energy and wear out the pack.
O'Brien goes in on Yates. Yates tried to hold it, but goes down at the bell. It is still Liu in front, Nassen in 2nd. Hio leaving it late, but he's going to run out of ice to even make the move for 2nd. And it is Liu and 2 crashes on the line. Hio and Nassen go down. They both finished on their rear ends, but Liu Shaolin takes the win. I don't think any review will affect him. And since we're down to the point where it's just going to be the heat winners moving on, I don't think there's going to be any chance. They'll review them, but it won't affect who advances, I believe.
So Gavin, clarify something for me quick, because we have 3 fastest 2nd place finishes.
Oh, it is 3. Why did I read 2?
Okay,
it's
so
3. You're right.
So we have 2 of those spots taken away by advancements. Currently, Heat 1, a 1:26.185 is the time to beat for that remaining 3rd fastest time, unless we see another advancement, and that would bump the time standard out
Well
completely.
spotted. I for some reason I read, and it was still in my head that there were 2, and thank you for the correction. Now we're good, but yeah, that heat was slower than the first one anyway, so that 2nd place time will not go to this one regardless of what comes. Although, however, now you point that out, there could be an advancement if it was from an advancing position with the 2 incidents that they're being reviewed. So now we do watch this one with plenty of interest.
Well, in the 2 remaining heats, they have the advantage of knowing what is that fastest 3rd time. So as athletes now, they have the choice. Do I want to go for the win? Do I want to push the pace and try to go for the time? Or do I want to sit back and see if I can use my patience to make a move happen?
This is the first one they're looking at. O'Brien's move on Yates. Initially, they entered the corner fine enough, both on their feet, and then Yates can't hold it. I don't know if he hit that lane marker as it was coming out under his skates.
It's hard to say. Definitely a twist in the upper body there, which especially coming around block 5, that is when the right side of the body has to be compressing down into the corner and forward into the straight. If there's any gap between the right shoulder and hip, you're in trouble.
After you, decision is no penalty due to shared responsibility between skater 91 from Ireland and number 116 from GBR.
There you go, shared responsibility, and nothing on that other one at the line. And so yeah, just the Liu Shaolin qualification and 2 heats still to go.
And I am hearing from skaters as well as coaches that separate from Montreal World Cups to this World Cup, there's a lot more just, hey, let them race. They're all elite athletes here. They know what they're doing out there. Again, we're looking for, is it clear and obvious, and does it impact the result? And then remember, there's typically not a call if the skater that's impacted wasn't in qualifying position. So almost anything happening outside of first place has the potential to just get thrown out.
And there we have Clayton DeClemente of the Eagles, wrestling at a position 1 here. Frederick Pettersson of that Norwegian Vikings program. Adil Galiakmatov of the Nomads. Leonard Sabrinas Lizans of the Golden Stars. Yengun Benjun and Luke Jean Shuo of the Hong Kong Ice Chilins.
Red.
Lou yesterday picking up an injury, but continuing on moving on quite well in the 1,500 meters into the World Tour program. There's Di Clemente out of Poughkeepsie, New York on the front.
And taking the option here to push the pace, to go for the fastest time, and I would consider him a contender for the win. So he's taking a risk here. It is causing him some energy to be out front leading this pace, but there is a saying in speed skating, if you're going to die, die from the front. Make everyone else pass you and hold on for dear life. Hopefully Clayton can finish with as much oomph as he's started with.
I'm watching the back. Lou, I'm impressed with his pat movement through the field. He gets around one.
Lou's timing is impressive. He often fits right into the holes. Not every time, but he's a smart racer to watch.
Pedersen of the Vikings sitting right up. So Di Clemente went out hard. The field was not shaken away. They're still there, grasping onto him. A lot of movement right now. Still, Lou goes all the way up to third. We are down to the bell. A stumble from Galiakmatov. Di Clemente trying to go wire to wire.
A tremendous skate by Di Clemente.
And it is going to be the USA Eagle getting it. Galiakmatov hanging on to second. A 1:25 is the time, and it may be enough. Let's see. There was a 1:25. The 1:26 right now is the leading time. 1:25.64 is Galiakmatov, so potentially that is the new provisional fastest second place.
That is looking faster than Heat 1, where the second place finisher finished in a 1:26.
There's an exertion there. Di Clemente trying to catch his breath a little bit. He'll have to rest and recover.
And it's possible that he and his coach decided to use this as a bit of a training race. That's very common when an athlete has not had a lot of volume in their legs. They may choose to use races as training races and purposely push the pace like they would in practice. That's really smart racing, considering we're not even halfway through the short track season.
And there it is, Di Clemente with the win. Galiakmatov 1:25.616, the time to beat for that fastest second place. One more heat to go. There's the start list. Nico Andermann of the Austrian side, Matehan Atan of the Anatolian Pars, Jonas Hammermüller of the German Wolves, Stefan Alexander Khmurjev of the Bulgarian Kings, our first King sighting today, Oleg Hande of the Ukrainian Wildcats, and Lorenzo Previtali of the Italian Gladiators. Fixing some of the ice there, just heading into our first break, an ice resurface to come, and it just needs to hold up for one more race.
We see our ice crew out there. You can see in the background a fire extinguisher being swept across the ice. That's because whenever there is a divot or a groove that would, deem the ice dangerous, the way that the ice techs go out and fix that, they pack the divot or the groove with snow, they pour water on top, and then they freeze it with that fire extinguisher so that the track is completely repaired for the following race.
Go to the start. Ready.
The man dash few strides, easing around the corner when it's all said and done. Nico Andermann emerges in the lead. Atan has the time to quickly put the glasses back on his forehead before entering the corner.
Atan skating a smart race here. He's leaving space. There's a couple good reasons for that. One is when you're ready to pass, it helps to close the gap.
Vitali, and now down he goes. Fortunate for him, Previtali moved up, it bumped Khmurjev, and then that sort of set things in motion, and Atan is down, but all the while Andermann still in front.
And really a shame for Atan, because since he was not in qualifying position, there's very unlikely to be an advancement. However, Atan was doing exactly the right thing to be prepared to pass the first, so unfortunately we just won't know if that's something he was capable of or not.
Vitali into the lead. Hande gets up into the third. He's now challenging Andermann. It's Lorenzo Previtali in front at the bell. Anderman is in second. Hyundai, I don't think he realized he has the speed to close it down, so he's settling for third, but it is Lorenzo Previtali crossing the line first. That incident will be getting a review.
You can see the exhaustion here. I mean, 2 hands on the thighs. They're bent over, heaving for breath. Here's where we're seeing some contact. Now, potentially, the Italian Gladiator is far enough, but, oh, I see, and then extra contact being caused to Atan. We'll have to throw to the ice as the officials have made their decision.
We're looking at it. Previtali pulls away from there. See, they're just waiting for all the skaters to cross.
And so again, the fatigue of the racing format really starting to set in here on day 3. Also, one of the reasons the ice here in Beijing is so good is because it's grippy. It doesn't break, well, sometimes it breaks out. We have seen
it
that.
happens. It is still ice. It's not perfect.
That's right. And so what I'm hearing from the athletes is that the ice is typically, let's watch, okay, he just can't seem to control his track.
I'm not sure if Atan was even part of that contact with Kumurjev. Anyway, it looked like he was in front and may have gone down on his own, but.
Sure. So what I'm hearing from athletes is that the ladies' races the ladies are very happy with the ice conditions. Because the ice is grippy, it means you have to take more footsteps. You can't hold your glide quite as long. So there's a tendency for the ice to be a little more tiring for the athletes. At the same time, you can trust the ice. It's not going to break for the ladies. It's not going to break out randomly. That being said, all the ladies will race, and then the men will go on the ice without a resurface break. So that's when we're seeing the ruts in the ice start to break out under the men's feet, the softness of the ice, because in between races, the blade techs pour water. That helps kind of repair the grooves in the ice, but if you get too much water down on the track, it kind of turns to slush. So we do have incredible ice techs here at this event, but with so many races happening, it's a challenge to keep the ice conditions consistent.
Looks like our officials have finished taking a look. And they will punch in the results to their own board before letting us know if there is any discipline to come.
And we're seeing a bit of a sparse crowd this morning. That is because these are the repechage rounds. So what's happened is that if you did not make it through on qualifying day, you get a chance to come back. Maybe some of these skaters are world ranked in each distance, but they had a fall, they just had a bad day. They get the chance to work back, or some athletes are coming, we'll throw it onto the ice.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 105 from Italy and advancement for skater number 95 from Turkey.
And there you go. So Previtali does go to get penalized, rather, and so Nico Anderman takes the automatic qualifying spot. Metehan Atan does get advanced, as he was in a position during all that in second place to potentially advance on time as second place. He wasn't in the automatic advancing position, but here it is, inside to outline change right there, bump, and that set everything in motion. And yeah, there might have also been a click of the blades as they went by.
Looks like it, and that does bump Theo Collins's time out. Actually, I'm sorry, that does bump.
Oh, it was Galiakhmetov.
Galiakhmetov. So he had the fastest time, but remember, whenever there's an advancement, that eliminates the spots that had progressed on time.
So there you have it. No time advancers, I think, for the first time this weekend. Everyone who did not win the race was moving on through advancements. And so we will take our first resurfacing break. See the time up on the screen. That is in about 12 minutes from now, so just enough time to get set up for you at home to take us, or to watch us through the repechage semifinals in the women's 1,500 meters and the men's 1,000 meters. Stay with us.
上左右两侧的大屏幕，来到现场的观众朋友啊，尤其是如果昨天、前天都来过的话，应该知道接下来是什么环节了。如果呢你被我们的摄像老师捕捉出现在大屏上面，我们呢会给你送奖品啊。不过这个部分呢，我们有一个主题，刚刚大家听到啊，一出来是有儿歌的背景音乐，没错啦，这个环节叫做 Kiss Cam。我们会选中已经来到现场看比赛的各位小朋友们啊，一共6个名额，而且跟大家提示一下啊，我们这个环节送出的奖品呢，现在应该已经很难买到了，是我们这次世巡赛获奖的运动员同款的周边，现在应该已经很难买到了啊，所以呢，这6个奖品也是非常的珍贵，看看哪6位小朋友能够获得呢？来看第1位，摄像老师锁定一下，哎，这位穿白色衣服的女生，还带了个发卡，是不是？看起来不灵不灵的啊！恭喜你，是我们第1位获奖的小朋友，谢谢你，欢迎你来看我们短道速滑的比赛啊！恭喜恭喜！来，第2位小朋友，看看是谁呢？哎，这位穿着黄色衣服、手里拿着国旗的小朋友，恭喜你，是我们第2位的幸运观众。哎呦，这个颜色跟我们这个背景板真的很搭啊！恭喜你，第2位获得运动员同款的赛事周边。来，第3位，哟，这位小宝宝，哎呦，穿着红色的，上面是中国龙，对不对 ？Chinese Loans 就是你了，哎，第3位，恭喜你获得了你的奖品啊！他可能还不知道这个环节是干嘛的，但是你即将收到一份好的礼物啊！来，下面一位，第4位，哎呦，和爸爸一起在跳舞的这位，你们俩一个穿红色，一个穿绿色啊！这位穿绿色衣服的小朋友，恭喜你获得了我们世巡赛的运动员同款周边。还有最后2个名额啊！现场的小朋友们挥挥手，来点掌声欢呼！哎呦，小朋友都跳起来了啊！来看看下一位幸运的小朋友是谁？第5位，哎，这位女生，哎，好像我听到她的尖叫声，好像就在我后面啊！穿粉色衣服的这位小女生，恭喜你，是我们第5位的幸运观众，马上就是最后一位了啊！摄像老师为我们选中最后一位 Kiss Cam 的幸运小朋友。哎，这位手举得高高的，穿着深蓝色外套的小女生，恭喜你，最后一份世巡赛的赛事周边被你拿到了啊！再次提醒一下小朋友和爸爸妈妈，留在原位，不要移动。我们工作人员马上就上去找到你们，把奖品送到你手上。再次感谢各位的参与。
and gentlemen, the upcoming race is women's 1500 meters wrap semi-finals. 女士们、先生们，即将进行的比赛是女子1500米复活赛半决赛。
Welcome back to the Capitol Indoor Stadium in Beijing. You may have heard the fanfare. You see the graphic now up on your screen. Women's Repechage 1500 meter Repechage semifinals, pardon me. 2 heats. Just the winner from each race moves on. No margin for error, of course. Eventually it'll come to the point where it goes without saying there is the opportunity for advancement, but it's habit to just remind everybody of that.
Well, especially when you don't have any fastest going through. And so the pressure is on. Win or go home. That's especially it's the last day of racing, so that's kind of where we're at this point. There's not much left to save your leg score. Potentially, if your team has a mixed relay today, that's the only thing these women are still concerned about. But we're going to see everyone kind of leaving it all on the ice because we have a whole week to recover before the next World Tour stop, and nobody wants to go home on an empty effort.
6 skaters. Valentina Askic, Nakashima Mire, Olga Tikhonova, Louisiana Stahl, Gabriela Topolska, and Petra Vankova. Let's look at Topolska. Decided at the right moment to get to the front, and nobody was able to catch her in her Repechage quarterfinal. Also, there's Nakashima Mire, who also has plenty of races under her legs. Valentina Askic has shown some good moments this weekend.
Go to the start. Ready.
And the gun goes. It's almost anticlimactic in a way. Bang! Almost everybody just stands up.
Yes.
We've spoken about this. It just ratchets up the tension and the drama on the ice and for us as well.
It's part of the strategy, and it's shuffling. So what happens sometimes is that nobody wants to lead, so whoever kind of gets stuck in the front will be very slow. They'll skate a very easy to pass track, and I've even seen leaders in this instance pull out so wide that they typically like put themselves all the way in the back. Now someone will think to themselves, all right, I'll go to the front, I'll pick it up, and today that is Louisiana Stahl.
I'm sure you've had enough of these 1500 meters where it's slow off the line. And is there a lot of just like looking around? And is there any discussion over who's going to go? Or is it all just everybody silently and awkwardly looking around at each other?
Silent and awkward. Yes. But what's happening is who's got the legs? Who wants to get out front? Who wants to pick out the pace? It's a good. What's happening here is they're showing you that they're tired, because since nobody wants to get straight out front and pick up the pace, they're saving their legs. You can anticipate that this race will come down to the final sprint.
Olga Tikhonova moves to the front. Now a bit of a reshuffling begins. Topolska on the front, Nakashima behind her, and then Vankova. Here comes a move though.
A big move on the outside by Askic, building that speed. 2 arms on her back, so she's not spending too much energy. Smart move by Nakashima to tuck into second place.
You like second place for a lot of skaters.
That was my primary strategy as an athlete. Everybody's got their own thing, but I thought second was the safest place to race.
And isn't one of your Olympic medals in silver?
Yes, it is.
Hey! You took it far too seriously. At the line, you don't want to be second.
Well, someone should have told me that.
Nakashima on the front now, things really taking off. Tikhonova behind her. Topolska, obviously one to watch for as well. Here comes Askic doing it all over again, or at least trying to, but now the tempo is a lot faster.
Now that the pace is picked up, this is poor timing to try the same move over again. I'd like to see Askic tuck in, even if it means she's going back into last place.
It's around 1 into 5th. Nakashima is down. It's Tikhonova leading the way ahead of Vankova. Now Vankova tries for the lead, and that bumps Tikhonova. And at the end of the race, it is Vankova, Tikhonova, and Askic. A photo finish for third. A late surge then from Askic to make it close, but there are going to be a thing or two to look at there.
Well, and Vankova coming off, help me Gavin, coming off of an advancement from the previous round, so coming off of a fall and then showing some aggression, some willingness to be right back in it in the semifinal race. So we're watching Askic take too much energy on the outside. Obviously you have to try your best, but here let's watch as she just seems to get her weight stuck back on her heels. And sometimes that's a little shift in the skater's technique. Sometimes that's a soft spot in the ice. Excellent, strong finish with a kick out for the line by Vankova.
So we'll see how things get reviewed. Smile and a wave. Perhaps maybe nervous smile and a wave. Never know when they get down to the review stage. There's the photo for second as well. Askic did a lot of work in that race.
She sure did, and unfortunately not a lot of work that worked for her. She went up to the front early, got sent all the way back, tried to go again. And again, it's helpful sometimes when you're wasting energy on the outside to scrap the strategy, tuck back in, and pick a new plan.
Now they play the waiting game. I think that's wait. Here we go. We don't have to wait long.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 38 from Kazakhstan and advanced skater number 39 from Japan.
There you go. Nakashima advanced. Vankova qualifies automatically. It's Tikhonova who gets penalized. And so we'll get another look at that in just a few moments.
And remember at home that they have an entire room. They see several angles of this. So let's see. She's not able to tuck in. She's coming contact from behind. And that's what tips her back on her heels.
All it takes at that speed and at that angle is just a little of touches.
Just a little bit. And sometimes if an athlete's balance is on the edge in the first place, a little touch is enough to send them down onto the ice.
And so potentially some pretty packed start lines in the 1500 this afternoon with one advancement.
Go to the start. Ready.
For this one, 6 skaters: Michelle Velzebor, Alina Ashgalieva, Lisa Eckstein, Kamila Stormovska, Hyojin Kim, and Katarina Buric.
Buric going up to the front. Again, slow pace here. What that means is that they're not taking times. There's no need to push the pace. Athletes might be a little tired, so smart to conserve your energy. And it's normal in a 1500 to not really see the pace pick up until 7 to go, sometimes 9 to go if you've got a strong endurance skater in there, but sometimes not till 4 or 5 to go if it's a race of mostly sprinters.
And that's when the cat would well and truly be amongst the pigeons then, setting everything off, and there's the possibility for chaos as the tension ratchets up that little bit more.
Chaos is kind of the default mode in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's always automatically assumed, but we like to reinforce it.
That's right, and so we're seeing good strategy here by Michelle Velzebor, the Dutch Lion. See how much space there is between her and second place? That's good for 2 reasons. One, it gives her room to accelerate when she's ready to pass. It can also be kind of a tricky move because what will happen is she can close that gap in just a single step, so it actually makes her more effective at blocking passes because she can take the space away quickly from the passing skater.
Down to 8 to go, and you mentioned that gap yesterday so well in the men's 500 meters. He said, I want Steven Dubois to get up there and pass immediately, not wait, he's done. He got up there and moved right up into second place and pretty much on cue, as he said.
And that's good strategy, especially in the 500. It's easy to get anxious and miss the timing, but an advanced skater does know how to close that gap and use the speed to create room for a pass.
Looks like Velzebor is doing it again, leaving just a little bit now, closing up a little bit. But on the front, Lisa Eckstein and Ashgalieva onto the front.
And here we go, 5 to go. So that's telling me we're waiting for the final sprint. Velzebor is getting a little more aggressive here, getting caught up, and I anticipate it'll be just a lap or, oh, something's wrong with her blade.
And it is Ashgalieva, it was Stormovska and Buric getting caught up. Velzebor was sort of caught in between there. And that is Kim now moving to the front.
Big power move, but a little contact. No yellow dot.
Hyojin Kim of the Racing Ruse times it perfectly. Here comes Velzebor, though. We know her power. She's going to push it all the way to the line. Velzebor's going to make this close. Can Kim hang on? I think she does.
Wow, a mix of good racing strategy by Kim and also a little bit of bad luck for Michelle Velzebor there. She had done such a good job for so many laps leaving space. The moment she closed the gap was the moment that contact was created by the Polish Hussar coming up the inside. There's no room.
Well, she was caught right behind Kim in a good position, just watched it all unfold in front of her and skated into the opening.
That's right, and then Velzebor had some blade trouble at the end. Kim building on the outside, a beautiful expression of power. You see she's sitting into her hips. Watch how she will compress here, coming around the turn, even as skaters around her having some slight contact.
So Hyojin Kim looking like she will join the World Tour program this afternoon. Will be a nice addition. Test herself against some of the best and the best later on. And that wraps up the women's 1500 meter semifinals. Just waiting to confirm the results.
And two American boys in the next round of racing. Looks like Andrew Hio and Clayton De Clemente. Let's come back here to the ladies 1500.
This was the bump that Velzebor was caught up behind, I believe. Well, maybe not. What's the two involved skaters? Yeah, it might actually have been.
I think that is, and so it's not necessarily poor timing, but not a complete execution. A little shoulder bump. Here's the call.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 13 from Poland.
There you go, just a penalty. It wasn't in a position of advancing, so that's why there is no advancement. So just a penalty to Kamila Stormovska.
There's a penalty to Kamila
Hyojin Kim,
Stormovska.
nicely moving on. Quickly checking, she finished 18th in this distance at the World Championships. 28-year-old. Saying contact from behind, but Hyojin Kim, 20-year-old, originally born in Seoul, now living in Sydney. She will get to test her medal against the best of the best. You mentioned the two USA Eagles in this race, Clayton De Clemente, Wesley Park. There is also arms folded on the start line there by himself right there, Liu Shaoan. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, thank you, Gavin. That is Wesley Park, not Andrew Hio. I apologize for the mistake.
There's Orenis Berzins, Mohamed Bozdag as well. One skater to qualify for the quarterfinals this afternoon.
Ready.
Lots of contenders for this one spot. Clayton De Clemente going out hard again, just like he did in the previous round, but this time he has a little bit of help. Wesley Park coming to the front, taking the lead, putting De Clemente in a little easier place where he can conserve energy. Oh, but he doesn't want it. He wants to control the race.
It is the two USA Eagles on the front. Friends for the moment, but they will become enemies at one point with only one spot. And meanwhile, Liu watching, stalking, as is Orenis Berzins. There is a lot of horsepower behind them.
And I would say between Orenis Berzins and Liu Shaolin, these are the two favorites in this race. The Americans are doing the smart thing to get up front and control the pace. But between Berzins and Liu, someone's going to make a move.
There is a bump. The shoulder to shoulder, both stay on their feet.
Here comes Shaolin.
And here comes Liu Shaolin. Clayton De Clemente trying to hold them off. Inside 3 to go.
Now Berzins could, it doesn't work.
And Liu still going around the outside. De Clemente trying to hold that inside line, but Liu just too much power all the way around the outside.
Now back to the idea of a training race. This is a training race for De Clemente. He wants to close that gap and put maximal effort into this finish.
He is trying, getting right up. It's going to be a reach at the line, but Liu will take it. And that gets the home fans going. Liu Shaolin showing flashes of his brilliance on the ice.
And Liu Xiaolin is a brilliant skater. He has been for several quads now. We've mentioned before, he does have the world record in the men's relay when he was part of Team Hungary. And if you notice his boots, he's the only skater on the ice right now with that gold color on his boots, indicating that he is a world champion.
Clemente could only do so much.
And he did everything right. De Clemente has lots to be proud of. Sometimes success is not winning. Sometimes success is being proud of yourself.
Focus in the eyes of Liu as he rounds the corner. Sticks the foot out. And off he goes. We will see him later on. We saw Sun Long getting a couple medals yesterday after going through the qualifying sessions. A bit different with the repechage session, but Liu Xiaolin looking in form. That's a big Q next to his name. Heat number 2 on the ice. Pardon me, that was Liu Xiaolin.
That's my fault. I was looking at heat number 2. That was Liu Xiaolin that we just saw. Now Liu Xiaolin. Now it's his brother's turn.
There we go. We'll get it started.
Aye.
Time to work it out. Liu Xiaolin, Nico Anderman, Lucas Wareham, Furkan Akar, and Matehan Atan. So 2 Anatolian pars. Chance for them. Actually, just one. No, they're both there. So 5 men on the line. 4 and 5 are teammates.
Ready.
Akar earlier showed that he wasn't afraid to get to the front and drive things, and he's moving right his way through right now and does tuck in there.
And Atan coming up to help his teammate. That's perfect strategy. And here we have Liu Xiaolin staying in second, separating the Turkish skaters.
Now everybody's going for it. Wareham having a go. Liu coming back. There's a bump, and Atan goes down into the mats, but it almost took Wareham with him. Meanwhile, Akar is back on the front. That incident will be reviewed. Lots in this one.
A lot of moving just in the first 3 laps.
There's still Furkan Akar. We await for the next move from Liu Xiaolin.
And we're in the low 9s here, which it is the right thing that Akar has to do, but I'm curious to see, will he have the legs to hold this pace until the finish?
Anderman trying to make a move now. 4 skaters, they are really moving now.
Akar skating what's called a deep track. You see how he's going wide into the corner. He's leaving the door open.
Liu Xiaolin opens it or walks right through, says thank you very much. And he comes up to the bell. Is there anything left in Akar to battle back? Liu Xiaolin hoping to join his brother into the World Tour session this afternoon. And it looks like he will do just that. And that is the case. Liu Xiaolin takes the heat. That incident earlier has been cleared. You see the green dot in the corner. So that means, wait for the results to be made official, but it looks like Liu Xiaolin makes it 2 straight Liu brother victories in back-to-back heats.
So we're seeing almost 3 wide coming around that corner. A really nice move by Xiaolin. Akar, oh, this is...
That is the incident that Atan went out wide.
Thank you. Atan trying to defend. It seems like it's already been cleared by the officials.
Watch the eyes, seeing where he's looking on the ice.
Now, if I were Akar, I'd be hooking my right skate there. You see the left skate comes down a little early. That means he cannot sneak up the inside lane.
I will see you in the quarterfinals this afternoon. Camaraderie between the two. Congratulations offered to Liu.
And it's got to feel good on home ice to know that you're going into the medal contending races. Both of the Liu brothers having a little lower results than they've had in the past, but having a lot of moving around as well, changing from Team Hungary to Team China. They have a Hungarian mother and a Chinese father, which allowed them to switch their citizenship and to continue working with their same coach from Hungary as she moved over to the head coaching position in China.
Confirmation of the qualifying for the quarterfinals, and it's double Liu moving on to this afternoon. And what drama might that lead to with the two of them moving on Creating such exciting atmosphere for the home fans here to see their own. One more ice break to come as we get into actually two. We're going to do repechage quarterfinals, ice break, repechage semifinals for the women's 500 meters. So coming fast and furious after the break. We'll just check the time and it will be in about 14 minutes. So stay with us. We'll be back from the Beijing, or the capital indoor stadium. There we go. Stay with us.
Please refrain from walking around or standing for a long time during the game.
在比赛进行中，请不要使用闪光灯拍照。
Please do not use flash photography.
当运动员准备出发时，请保持安静，并将手机调整至静音或震动状态。
Please remain quiet when the athletes are about to start and adjust your phone to silent or vibrate mode.
请大家不要乱丢垃圾，做好垃圾分类投放，保持场馆内的整洁。
Please do not litter and properly dispose of your trash. Keep the burner clean by separating your trash.
请勿在场馆内吸烟，做文明观众。感谢您的配合。
Please do not smoke in the venue. Thank you for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, the upcoming race is women's 500 meters prep quarterfinals.
女士们、先生们，即将进行的比赛是女子500米复活赛1/4决赛。
Back we come, just about to start the sprint to the finish, so to speak, in this morning session. Women's 500 meters. It's just the Repechage quarterfinals. Repechage Repechage semifinals, and then that is it. The women's 500-meter repechage, 5 heats that will likely zip through first place skater from each race and up to 5 of the fastest second place skaters, and so we say that in case of penalties. So if it's clean, top 2 move on. If it's not, top 1 and so on and so forth. We'll figure that out. There you have heat number 1. Ariana Siegel of the Gladiators, Louisiana Stahl of the Eagles, Malika Yermak of the Nomads, Uliana Dubrova of the Wildcats, and Danucha Chitaisong of the Elephants. Siegel of the short track Seagulls.
That's right, one of our many brother-sister duos on the World Cup circuit.
She is the older sister by almost 3 years.
And it's pretty common in sports, at least in speed skating from what I've seen, that the younger sibling often will outperform the older in the long run. And that, you know, maybe that doesn't work in every situation, but what happens is that younger sibling is kind of eyeing down the older and wanting to do everything just as well as their favorite person.
And of course, now with the likes of the mixed relay, they can celebrate accomplishments together.
Precisely. Same with Stan and Hannah. Any other brother-sister duos this weekend, Gavin?
I believe there was one on the Nomads, but I'm not sure. But there are some famous ones on the Dutch Lions who are, well, sister, not brother-sister.
That's right.
Anyway.
Go to the start. Ready.
And it is Ariana Siegel off and away. Louisiana Stahl in Catherine's favorite place, second right now.
And the Italian Gladiators are well known for their sprinting abilities. Louisiana Stahl actually coming into this race without a world rank. She's looking to get ranked in this World Tour stop.
She's closing bit by bit, but these laps tick off really quickly, and Siegel went off.
Remember what we saw with Stephen Dubois yesterday. If Louisiana Stahl can catch, she needs to use the speed immediately into a pass. She's got to hit it right here.
Looks like she might run out of ice. It is going to be Siegel. Confidently through start to finish. The Italian Gladiators.
And we should mention that Louisiana Stahl still has the opportunity to get that fastest second time, especially if there are no advancements in the later rounds.
Yes, I mentioned, coming back to that first one on the Nomads, it's Abzal Ashgaliev and Alina Ashgalieva, who are brothers and sisters as well. Anybody who can yell at Catherine later.
That's, I'll take it. I'll take the blame.
All right, heat number 2. I don't think anything getting reviewed there.
And Ariana clearly happy with the result of that race.
Left it to just nothing to chance. Takes the cue. Louisiana Stahl 44.521. We'll sit and watch to see how the rest of the races go, or head to the back and just let someone tell her what happened. It's all up to the personal taste. Heat number 2. Nicola Mazur of the Hussars, Ksenia Adamenko of the Wildcats, Annabelle Green of the Royals, Anna Jansson of the Golden Stars, and Leah Mead of the Ice Kias. Jansson and Mead both took tumbles in earlier races. We shall see how they can do in this one.
Well, and so once you take a tumble, the first thing you do is get your blade checked. The second thing you do is go see your physio. And that is one area that the athletes are feeling particularly pinched this week with the new World Tour racing format. There's very little time between races, very little time to take care of your equipment as well as yourself.
How to get into that routine. It's this order, and then they're back out. There they are.
Go to the start. Ready.
It is through the opening. Mazur out of position 1, trying to do what Ariana Siegel just did and take it wire to wire, but Annabelle Green tucked right up on her rear end right now.
What Mazur is doing really well is that she's crossing through the corner. Now that she's that top speed. She's starting to put that left hand on the ice for what's called a pivot.
And she is really starting to shift.
With no pressure from behind on green, I would like to see her taking more crossovers throughout her corner.
It is Nicola Mazur going wire to wire all the way around. Keeps the blades down, and another confident win in Repechage quarterfinal heat number 2. Green made it to second, 8:44.31. So it was faster than the first heat. We only worry about ranking those second place times if there are advancements to muck things up a bit.
A smooth start followed by a powerful finish by the Polish Hussar. See the little red and black strap around her ankle. That's called a transponder. That's how we receive the electronic timing on each individual lap as well as the finish.
And confirmed. Zipping right along, heat number 3. As Valentina Askic, we'll see the results confirmed. There you go, right there. Now I can jump into heat number 3. Valentina Askic of the Croatian Dalmatians, Lisa Eckstein of the Wolves, Hyojin Kim, who we just saw moving on in the 1500 meters. There's Lam Qingyan of the Hong Kong Ice Chilins, and Yelizaveta Sidorko of the Ukrainian Wildcats. Maybe a little tougher to handicap this one. Askic is the highest world ranked, but a lot of pretty close quarters here. Anything can happen in a 500.
Go to the start. Ready.
Only heat 4 and 5 have 4 on the line, and so this is the last one with 5, and it is Askic.
Sidorko actually coming to this race with the highest world rank so far of anyone in the field, but that 5th lane start position has got her in 3rd. She'll need to be patient and time the pass if she wants to get up into qualifying position.
Keeping them at bay for now. They will come up to get the bell, and it is still Valentina Askic. Lam Qingyan on her. For 3rd, Sidorko has some work to do. Is this her chance? She doesn't have the door open on the inside, and she might run out of room. It will be Askic with a solid finish.
And Sidorko trying to set up a pass. Now there is always a balance in speed skating. You have to step out wide to build your speed up. But then you leave the door open for someone else to make a pass, and that is exactly what Lisa Eckstein did. She went in and made the attack while Sidorko was trying to make the pass, and then Sidorko had to go back to a defensive strategy, running out of time to skate offense.
Askic's winning strategy, get to the front and hold them off. Nobody can catch her.
Works every time.
And 2 more heats to go as we have another clean set, or another clean race rather. Lam Qingyan in 2nd with a 44.197. That is the fastest runner-up time so far. There you go, Askic, Lam Qingyan. Top 2, and now 2 more to go. And so still on course to have the top 2 in every race moving on. Heat 4 has Natalia Malashevska, Kurokawa Hii of the Ninjas, Zeynep Markan of the Nomads, and Katarina Budic of the Dalmatians. And Malashevska, you've seen her throw down some flyers.
Go to the start. Ready.
Malashevska, 3-time Olympian. Once a silver medalist in the 500 meters of the World Championships. So she's come back this season. A bit of a chip on her shoulder, ready to prove something. She's off here. And Kurokawa trying to follow.
And she's showing her prowess with those long, powerful strides.
现在场上所在领航位置的是来自波兰轻骑兵队的大爷。
To still Malashevska. Is there room for Kurokawa to size something up?
Kurokawa can stay safe, relatively safe here. The main concern is you want that fastest time to qualify, as well as to ensure a great lane position in the next round.
最终还是波兰选手
Will be Natalia Malashevska. Kurokawa in second. That's the fastest of the runner-up times so far. And so even if there are advancements, Kurokawa will look confident to be in that 500-meter repechage semifinal, but Malashevska puts in the work.
So we're seeing this experience here in the way that Malashevska skates. Staying low and compressed in her position, and a dive for the line, even though she's clearly going to win this round.
Five-time European Championship medalist in the 500 meters. So Malashevska knows how to get to the line, the finish line quickly in this race. There we have it. Malashevska 1, Kurokawa 2, and one more race to officially confirm all of those second-place times, but we've seen everything happen just about this weekend, and you can still see anything happen. Zoe Deltrap, Dutch Lions, a couple of ninjas, Watanabe Aoi, Nakashima Mide, and then Tineke Den Dulk. It's a good experience with a couple of the names on those Dutch Lions sides still coming back from injury.
That's right, and Den Dulk really coming up for the Belgian Ice Bears. Now, we're typically used to seeing Hannah Desmet as the leader of the Belgian team. However, great opportunity here for Den Dulk, not only to gain some experience, but hopefully to have a personal best finish.
Go to the start. Ready.
Is Deltrap quick off the line, everybody through. There was a gasp though from my colleague next to me.
Well, I just can't help it sometimes because I saw Watanabe stumble on the start and she seems to be recovering.
It is Deltrap and Nakashima 1 and 2. Den Dulk, born in the Netherlands. She's shaping up a move right behind Nakashima at the bell. It is Deltrap from the front. Den Dulk, is there enough time to make a move? And it will be Deltrap going all the way to the end in first. Nakashima ends up in second, and Den Dulk not able to close it enough.
So let's watch lane position number 2 here. There is going to be a stumble. She just gets too high up on her toes. There's no contact, but a real shame because in a race this short, 1/10 of a second is the difference between second and fourth, and that's that.
We've seen those times where if there's nobody else involved, they let it go, and that was the case that time. And Deltrap unfazed through all of that, and she will get the big Q next to her name, and the little Q as advancing on time goes Nakashima Mide. So all the second place skaters go through, and we will see them in just a few moments because it's the quick turnaround, the flood again, and then they will be back out to wrap up the morning's program on day 2 officially of the World Tour. Short track World Tour, and then we will get into this afternoon. And it is, I'm gonna say 12:36, that is 16 minutes from now. So do what you need to do wherever you may be watching around the world. We'll be waiting for you on the other side. Stay with us.
首都体育馆，这里是2024至2025赛季国际滑联短道速滑世界巡回赛北京站的比赛。上午的比赛啊，也快接近尾声了。在这个交兵的时候，大家看向左侧、右侧两侧的大屏幕，又到了给大家送奖品的时候。跟上一趴一样啊，我们送出的奖品呢，都是现在已经很难买到的世巡赛的运动员同款官方纪念品。接下来我们要看上大屏幕，一共8个名额，来看看我们会送给谁呢？来，第1位，恭喜！哎，这2位情侣一起来看比赛啊，恭喜你们！成为了第1组的幸运观众。一会儿呢，我们工作人员会把这个运动员同款的周边送到你的手上，所以不要移动位置啊。来，第2位，我们来看看，大家可以多挥挥手，吸引一下摄像的注意力。哎，这边恭喜这位小朋友一家3口来看比赛，对不对？谢谢你们来支持我们短道速滑的比赛啊！来，第2位幸运观众就是你了，同样不要移动啊！一会儿呢，会有工作人员把奖品送给你。来，接下来第3组是哪一位？哎，正准备挥手的这位姐姐就被我们选中了啊！恭喜你！第3位的幸运观众就是你了。稍后呢，工作人员会把奖品送到你的手上。来，接下来第4位，来看一看，哎，有没有看到自己上大屏了哦？这位穿着绿色衣服的姐姐，恭喜你！第4位的幸运观众就是你啊！每一位都能够获得运动员同款的世巡赛官方周边。哎，已经过半了啊！接下来第5位，大家继续挥挥手啊，吸引一下现场注意力。哎，这位。没错，就是你，就是你，这位哥哥，哎，就是你了啊！我们第5位的幸运观众，好，还有3个啊，第6位，看看是谁？哦，这个站起来挥手的粉色衣服的女生，非常的显眼啊，被我们摄像老师选中了，哎，恭喜你！哎呦，是你的孩子吗？哎呦，这哪里看得出来啊？我刚才还准备说这是大学生的模样，没想到瞬间出来了一个孩子啊！好了，那这个小朋友你有福了啊！你的妈妈为你得到了一份很有意义的纪念品。接下来第7位，哦呦，这个大红色衣服的这位姐姐很显眼啊，被我们摄像老师选中了。哎，好嘞，这位小朋友也恭喜你。一会儿呢，也即将看到一份非常有纪念意义的纪念品，而且呢，它上面还有一个装置，你可以去把玩一下啊，很有意思的。马上呢是最后一位了，最后一位幸运观众，来看看是谁？哎呦，这是拿着我们中国队加油的横幅的这位男生，是短袖啊，穿短袖啊，跟我们现场好多朋友不在一个季节啊，恭喜你，最后一位幸运观众。穿短袖也是获奖的办法之一啊，在人群当中太显眼了啊！好，恭喜以上8位幸运观众，留在原位，不要移动，稍后工作人员会把奖品送到你手上。
upcoming race is women's 500 meters rep semi-finals.
女士们、先生们，即将进行的比赛是女子500米复活赛半决赛。
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the skaters for P1. Natalia Malizewska, Poland. Annabelle Green, Great Britain. Ariana Siegel, Italy. Louisiana Sol, USA. Zoe Deltra, Netherlands.
Final two races of the morning session here in Beijing. The 500-meter repechage semi-final for women. Two heats, first place skaters from each going on both heats. We'll have 5 skaters on the line. Headlined in heat number 1 by Natalia Malizewska. Annabelle Green, Ariana Siegel also skated a very impressive race. Louisiana Stahl, Zoe Deltrap in heat number 1. And so a number of women here won their heats in the repechage quarterfinals. But look at the veteran experience and savvy of that woman. Natalia Malizewska is one to watch, but Ariana Siegel certainly dominated her quarters as well. So, Catherine, tough to handicap.
You know what, we say it all the time that every single race they're picking one, but there's 5 gals here who could make it and hold their own in the next race. So we'll just have to see who makes it to the front here. I think there'll be more jostling. The stakes are a little higher, and there's no time here, so they have to be quite aggressive as they race.
Position 5. Outside. Go to the start. Ready.
So much could come down to the race to the corner. We'll see if everybody gets through. There's a stumble from Stahl. Siegel goes down, and we'll bring that one back.
And we're going to see athletes going straight over to their coaches, getting their blades checked.
Coaches hop down from the coaches box. They know their role. See Harold Silovs, the former Latvian long and short track skater, calling Deltrap up to take a look as Siegel went down there.
Hard to see what caused that. Louisiana Stahl definitely just having a stumble on her own. And then you can even see, I guess everyone's coming in for a blade, for a pit stop.
Looks like all 5 replicas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Plus those mats are comfortable too, so much fun to sit on.
You know, it is true. After a hard race or a hard workout, you often see athletes go and just lay their head down on the mats.
What work is going on right there with ED?
Kip Carpenter checking the edge there. So you run your fingers along the edge of the blade, feeling for strips. Strip feels like a serrated edge, whereas a sharp edge feels more like a chef's knife.
Real team effort there. Chiara Betty, the skater, comes over to bring some ice, or some water rather, for Siegel to take a drink as a couple of the coaches go to work on the blades. 1, 2, 3 are back on. Annabelle Green now joining. We are just waiting for Betty. She is the one who took the spill, so she might need a bit more work. No, she's good. And here we go.
So let's set the reset button. Everyone out on the track there is taking a nice deep breath. They're putting their blinders on, forgetting what happened in the last 2 minutes, fully focused, starting over on this line.
Go to the start. Ready.
And this time everybody's through. Natalia Malizewska off to the front. I don't think it'll be as easy for her to get away this time. And Annabelle Green right there. Ariana Siegel in third. Zoe Deltrap in fourth. Now Deltrap trying to make the move on third. Not going to make it stick.
A defensive move there by Ariana Siegel. She stays in third, but now she has a gap.
Speed out. Side 2 to go. Siegel now having to close back on Green. Malizewska trying to go wire to wire. And Here comes Deltrap up the inside, a bump, and oh boy. Malashevska in the end. Wonder if she went, what was that? She took the bump and just kept going towards the line.
And it's a testament to a strong skater who can skate away from trouble. Very often a weaker skater, if there's trouble behind them, they get stiff, they change their technique, they change their track. An advanced skater takes contacts like that in stride.
I don't think she even broke stride after that. This was the late move. Deltrap maybe out of desperation trying to go all the way up, and then goes right into Malashevska.
And Deltrap just has nowhere to go. I don't think she meant to go up into second place, and by the time she gets there, she can barely hold the edge.
Japan. Valentina Essig. Claudia. Beijing.
I'm still confirming the result. The official got down at the video screen. Let's see, a couple little moments that ends up costing her that one. There's a look inside the video room. To look at a lot of riding on those decisions. And here it is again, Deltrap. There's a bump from Seagull. Seagull does dive in there a little bit. Deltrap going the other way.
The key there is that Deltrap was not inside the red line on your screen. If she were inside the red line coming out, she'd be in trouble. The fact that she was outside the red line says to me maybe they're looking at Italy.
Yeah, there you called it actually. Possible lane change outside to in on Seagull on Deltrap, so well spotted. That is what the discussion is about down there. No decision has been made just yet, but.
And so the red line on the inside of the track, it is there for officiating purposes. It gives the referees a point of reference because lateral movement is typical in the sport. It's how you skate. But who can tell who's moving more lateral on just a blank sheet of white ice? That red line shows who stepped out of the track and then who's making the bigger adjustment back into the lane, whether that's an outside to in lane change or an inside to out. I should say as well that it is the passing skater's responsibility to complete the pass. Completion is considered when a skater's waist is a passing skater is even with the waist of the skater. Oh man, I'm goofing this up. The waist of the passing skater needs to be even with the shoulders of the skater being passed.
After review, the decision is no penalty due to shared responsibility between skater 94 from the Netherlands and skater number 25 from Italy.
There you have it. Shared responsibility, so no penalty. Both of them were behind Malashevska anyway, so it would have taken something special for them to get all the way around the skater from the Polish Hussars. So here it is. You're noticing that red line. So she's in that position. They both, one goes in, one goes out, and they.
And if the Dutch Lion had been 6 inches farther in front, she would have had a clear lane, but she just wasn't past that point of being even yet.
And so that is heat number 1. No advancements from that other than the woman who qualified, Natalia Malashevska. One of her teammates hoping to join her here in heat number 2, Nicola Mazur, Kurokawa Ki, and Nakashima Mide of the Japanese Ninjas, Valentina Askic of the Dalmatians, and Lem Chingyen of the Ice Chilins.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Mazur out of position 1 takes advantage. Already a gap. She just turned 29 in November and looking pretty good here so far.
And my eyes are on the 3rd place skater, Lam, the Hong Kong China skater, and actually look at this. She's not able to hold that 3rd position.
Slipping back as the race goes on. But Mazur has thrown down the gauntlet that nobody's able to match just yet. 1 to go. Kurokawa has a chance to close. Askic trying too late. Askic makes the move for 2nd, but not enough time left. Mazur had enough of a lead early and hangs on. I don't think anything's getting reviewed, so that should hold up as well. And so double Hussars potentially into the quarterfinals this afternoon.
And it's helpful to remember that even though the winner of each race are going on to the quarterfinals, everyone else is still fighting for world rank.
That, of course, determines where you might start on the line in the next race as well, and so much difference between first position and fifth position.
There certainly is, and plus there's just the, hey, everyone here wants to be good. If you can move up one position, if you can move up from 33rd to 32nd, not only is that a personal best, but think about Olympic year. Olympic year, there's only 32 spots. Oh man, and it might be a little different for the 500, but in the 1500 there's 32, and there may even be less for the 1000 and the 5. So it seems insignificant maybe to the person watching at home, but to these athletes, this is the difference. On an Olympic year, this would be the difference between going to the games and staying home.
Formation, Mazur to move on to the quarterfinals this afternoon. See that second graphic here. Coalition flag, the Hussars, both of them moving on, and we will see them later on. Today we do take our break now. It is 12:45 local time. Competition will resume just after the 2 o'clock hour, so about an hour and 15 minutes. If you are watching on the ISU YouTube channel, check out the link. It should be ready to go if you want to sit there, have it up waiting for, so it's ready to go wherever you may be in the world. Quick sign off here. Catherine, we'll start with the mixed relay this afternoon. How are you looking forward to?
Can't wait.
And on behalf of Catherine, Reuter, Adamek, and everybody here putting things together for here in Beijing, my name is Gavin Day. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.
观众朋友们，上午的比赛已经全部结束，下午的比赛将在2:02开始。